The Chinese are up to something again, and that is gonna change the way that North America plays. Right now, actually, in less than 10 days, we're gonna get the announcement. We love the Chinese Communist Party. And right here is the whistle blowing that's happened, and it's not very convenient to look, but there is a lot of things going on here. Blizzard reveals Hardcore Classic Realms available on China on November 22nd. November 22nd, that is very suspiciously 10 days after Warcraft Direct. That is very suspiciously the time frame that Soda Poppin proposed for his Hardcore Guild event, OnlyFans. Okay, I'm gonna have to protect my headset from the Chinese mental rays now. Perfect. Very well. What if I told you that this move is actually part of a bigger political movement that is happening? And I do not mean a political movement of the people. I do not mean a political movement in the way of ideas, but actually this is a symptom of how the CCP handles media, and it will actually affect all of us very soon. As I said, we're gonna hear it in like 10, 12 days, something like that. The World of Warcraft China anniversary concluded this week with some very big announcements for classic players in the region. On the 22nd of November, World of Warcraft China is gonna get its own fresh hardcore and classic era servers. World of Warcraft China went offline in January 2023, only returning earlier this year. That's what I'm talking about. It has already been a whirlwind 6 months for the region, with a special edited version of Rato the Lich King that launched in June. Rato the Lich King Classic has been hugely popular for NetEase, with Warcraft logs reporting over 11 million characters raiding Ulduar in the region. Just so you get an idea, China alone is a little bigger than the entire population of the rest of the world in WoW, so it is huge. And I am willing to bet that China in retail is even bigger. The timing of this announcement will raise an eyebrow for some people, because classic players on EU and NA has been expecting some sort of hardcore fresh to be announced at Warcraft Direct on November 13th. OnlyFans Streamer Guild had previously announced that they were going to do it in October, only for the date to be pushed back to November by guild leader Soda Poppin. This curious change to date seemed to be a heads up, with Blizzard telling them that something was coming. In something that's a little weird, I got access to the Chinese announcement, because usually the Chinese internet is separate from Western internet, and it's not very easy to get inside of Chinese internet or vice versa. They call it the Great Firewall of China, haha, do you see the pun? Really funny. But here is the announcement. Now, I do not speak Chinese, but Google speaks Chinese, I think. So let's try to translate it here. This is adorable. Even in China, you try to join a news website and you get like 20 pops trying to tell you to log into something that you don't care about. I just want to read the article, man. I guess deep down we're all the same. Here we go. The Huangshow Exchange ended successfully. Anniversary event, official online service on October 24th. That's the retail event, I think. They are rebranding the 20-year Warcraft anniversary event to the anniversary event of when Warcraft came back to China. I think that's what they mean. Permanent level 60 and expert model opened on November 22. Expert model is the rough translation of hardcore.
专家模式
That's the expert mode, so that's what they call hardcore mode. They are getting fresh hardcore and fresh level 60 in November 22nd. And here, for more interactions with the game, see the long picture. And it is a very long picture. I don't know if long pictures are like something in China that is like the way, like a cultural thing, and I do not understand it. But look at this thing, it's a huge file. I was told a while ago that sometimes Chinese websites like communicating long text inside of pictures because it's harder for the government to censor the pictures. So maybe that's where this weird habit of making long pictures come from. Very well, but as you can see, it's a bunch of Chinese stuff. We can go to China's best friend in Russia, that's Yandex, and Yandex is actually a really good translating software for pictures, believe it or not. But there we go, it's actually translated. As you guys know, the translation is never gonna be perfect. They are talking about like some sort of party they did for the anniversary. That's kinda cool. That's pretty cute. There's people in costumes and stuff. World of Warcraft 20th anniversary celebration coming soon. Flying Tiger, that's the skin that they are selling. People were very mad at that one and it's coming to them too now. Permanent 60 expert mode. I think in the original original picture, this was split. Yes, you see how it's split here. Permanent 60, that's Ragnaros, and hardcore mode is right here. So that's a little more confirmation. More community activities, well, that's just some promotional events. This didn't get translated, but these Uldu are coming out because, once again, they didn't have WoW for like a year, so they are still in Rato the Lich King now. They got stuck. They are launching a Thesaurus. Like a dictionary too. They are... what? Okay, Chinese commercials are very weird. But yes, where I was going with this whole shebang and why I was talking about it. Basically, to make a long story short, the reason that World of Warcraft got shut down in China for a year, even if they will never ever admit to this for obvious reasons, is that the CCP has a limited quota of how many Western media they allow in the country, and the people that decide what media gets to be in that thing, they demand some really chunky bribes. If you're the guy that decides what movie gets inside of the Chinese market, which is a huge market, and what movie doesn't, and what game, and whatever, you can imagine how the people involved in that process want to get a piece of that. And we're talking billions with a B of dollars. I am not trying to say that it's a single official that's doing this. I am telling you the entire system. Everybody along that process is taking a piece, and Chairman Xi knows it. It's not like he doesn't know it, of course. That's just how China works. That's just the way it's always worked. If you want to do business in China at scale, you gotta deal with them. For whatever reason, a year ago, the negotiations between NetEase, which is like the Chinese company that gets to manage World of Warcraft, gets to run the protection racket on World of Warcraft in China, some party in that negotiation didn't work out, and the negotiations collapsed. They didn't work out. I cannot tell you exactly why, because that's something only they know. Maybe they wanted a bribe that Blizzard wasn't willing to pay. Maybe they demanded that Blizzard concede in some way, like give them a license for their intellectual property inside of China for something that they didn't offer, or something like that. There is a lot of things that get negotiated in those deals. And Blizzard tried to play hardball, and it didn't work out. It backfired. The Chinese government was like, "Yeah, oh, you're gonna allow WoW to not be in China for forever? Okay, fine. We're talking about it in a year." And a year passed, and Blizzard caved in. They accepted that they lost the negotiation and conceded to whatever the Chinese government wants out of them. People were talking about that a lot, like, "Oh, the negotiation with NetEase collapsed. Why didn't they just try to get a new publisher?" That is the publisher. NetEase, Tencent, whatever other Chinese company, they are all run by the same people, which is the government. They are government-run companies. There is no big company in China that is not government-operated or controlled in some way or form. If you cannot work it out with one of those companies, you cannot work it out with neither. Talk to anybody that did business in China and they are going to tell you the same thing. And the reason that I think that this is going to mess up the entire Western releases for like a year is because now Blizzard has to play catch up. Blizzard has an aversion for running products in parallel. Blizzard hates having to support multiple versions of a game when nobody's playing one of the versions, or to have to support them as separate. They want to release Cataclysm, be done with Cataclysm, move on to the next thing, and so on and so forth. And it was working out just fine until China came back into the scene, and now they gotta make it sure that the Chinese market can catch up to the American market so they can go back to releasing the same products in all the regions, so that's less work and less cost for them. And this is my fear. This is why I think this is going to be a bad thing. I think the way they are going to do it is they are going to stagger, they are going to leave us to rot. I would not be surprised if 2025 we see a huge slowdown of content release, and I think Season of Discovery is going to be the first one on the chopping block. They had no problem throwing us under the bus when Cataclysm had to come out, and they didn't want to compete with Cataclysm. They threw us under the bus for 3 months, and this, along with them telling Soda to wait a month for OnlyFans, it all but confirms to me that they want to do a filler year. They want to just release the things that they already released, fresh hardcore, fresh era. They already have those products, and just try to coast and survive and do as little as possible so Chinese servers can catch up to us and they can go back to their old schedule. They have the routine. They hate messing with the little release schedule. So yes, TLDR, Hardcore Fresh confirmed, Era Fresh confirmed. As of me, honestly, if I gotta choose, I think I'm going for Fresh Era. I hate Hardcore. Hardcore is hard. Hardcore is annoying. You gotta be paranoid the whole time. You cannot goof off. That's not for me, man. I would much rather get Classic Plus, but I will happily play Era. I do not hate playing normal normal vanilla WoW. I just despise hardcore WoW, bro. And I will play it off a couple times as a joke, and hell, I might even hit 60 on hardcore once for the memes, but if I gotta do nothing but hardcore for a year, I'm gonna freaking lose it. And if we don't get anything really cool in Blizzard Direct in 10 days, I think I'm gonna have to start looking for a new game. As you guys know, I come from Albion Online. I guess I might have to take an Albion Online vacation. We're gonna know, we're gonna see. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully we get something interesting. Even Pandaria will be better than this. But we're gonna see. Thank you, Communism, for ruining everything once again. By the way, we are also streaming on Twitch now, so I'm gonna drop a link in the comments. You can check it out. That's where I'm gonna be doing extended versions of the stream, the after show, so to speak, because sometimes I will do like a live podcast or a live news segment or a live raid or something like that, and I don't want to get the VOD extended for like 8 hours after that because it's annoying. It hurts me in the algorithm because people click off after that, you know. I don't care if people don't want to watch that kind of chill content. It's not a problem for me if I get low viewers, but sadly it hurts me in the algorithm if I get those streams out in there normally. So I reached a compromise where I'm gonna do those streams on Twitch. We're gonna get the normal main segment of the stream on both YouTube and Twitch, and after that the stream is gonna cut off on YouTube and it's gonna continue on Twitch. So yeah, I hope you can understand why we're on both platforms now. I am always gonna keep streaming on YouTube. I like streaming on YouTube. It's not going away. Subscribe, join the Discord, and thank you for watching.